Today's video is sponsored by my business, Soul Guide Candles. We have multiple candles on the website right now that you are able to purchase. If you would like to support the channel, you can go to soulguidecandles.com now. Thank you. Now let's get to the video. Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be discussing chapter 2 of Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. And this one is about the basic law of prosperity. So let's get into it. The chapter starts where Catherine Ponder is talking about her own experiences. So she says, 15 years ago, life looked hopeless for me. Widowed with an infant son, I had no training for any type of work, therefore no means of income. My family during that period was not able to offer much financial assistance. It was during this miserable period that I learned about the power of our thinking and it as an instrument for success or failure. So let's get into the understanding. So prosperous thinking as the key to success. Understanding that our thoughts are powerful tools and they can determine our success or our failure, like she said before. Our inner thoughts shape our reality, and decreeing positive outcomes will establish them in our life. So the two the two Bible verses here is Proverbs 23, and that's very thin, but that's okay. Proverbs 23 and 7, which is, as a man thinketh within himself, so is he. You can replace those. You could say, as a woman thinketh, so is she. And then Job, we have Job 22:28. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and light shall shine upon thy way. So that is the basis of actually what this chapter is about. And going further on her own story, she says, I then excitedly surmised that my potential wealth, health, and happiness were actually within me, waiting to be radiated outward into my world as healthy, wealthy, happy thoughts, feelings, expectations, and decrees, which in turn would attract like results into my life. As soon as I grasped this simple but powerful success secret and began applying it, the tide changed and my ships began to come in. I felt led to go into ministry so that I might help others to realize and apply the spiritual and mental keys to a healthy and prosperous life that had meant very much for her. So for that, I can say thank you, because this book is definitely very helpful to me. And that's why I wanted to make this video, so that I could bring a shorter and clarified version of what she talks about in this chapter. So moving on to the laws. So this one she keys in as the law of laws. So she says that truly this law governs prosperity, and it's just as workable as the laws that govern mathematics, music, physics, and other sciences. So the Bible describes the basic law of prosperity when it speaks of sowing and reaping, or giving and receiving. And the scientists describe this one as action and reaction. By some, it has been termed the law of supply and demand, and also Emerson, he describes it as the law of compensation. So this is the law of laws, that giving and receiving energy, and whatever you radiate will attract the like. So if you radiate, giving, other people will want to give to you as well. So also it's saying that your thoughts shape your reality. So our mental attitudes and beliefs directly influence our external circumstances. So therefore, positive and prosperous thinking can lead to that successful living that you desire. Moving to the law of radiation and attraction. When you radiate in your thoughts, your feelings, and the different mental images, whatever those are attracts similar results in your life. So the principle of that sowing and reaping, giving and receiving is fundamental to understanding prosperity. Because as the last point here says, you cannot get something from nothing, or you cannot get something for nothing. And that leads us to, you can always give something. So typically people, that's the first thing, is say, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. And that's where we come into this one. In the book, I'll read this quote here. She says, the reason why there is still poverty in this universe of lavish abundance is that many people still do not understand this basic law of life. Most people today still have to learn that they cannot get something for nothing, but must give before receiving, or must sow before reaping. When they do not give or sow in terms of prosperity, they make no contact with God's lavish abundance. So there is no channel formed through the rich, unlimited substance of the universe that can pour forth riches to them. So saying that if you do not openly give, you cannot openly receive, and the channels through which you may give through are not there. So recognize that everyone has something to give, whether it's tangible or intangible, because sometimes people, like I said, go directly to the tangible things, and that's not always the case. So understand that to receive the best in life, you must give fully and generously. And I said these two specifically, generously and fully, because she remembers she explains a time in the book where she gave clothes. So remember to bless the things that you give away and let them go mentally. When she mentions these clothes where she gave them physically, she had actually let the clothes go and given them away to her sister, but mentally she would repeat things in her mind like, oh, if I hadn't given those clothes away, I would have the skirt to wear now, or the shirt to wear, or blah blah blah. And she would keep saying that. So release mentally as well, and trust that your good is coming in. So know that once you give, you will receive. You have to trust that. That is the law. So the benefits here from transforming potential into reality. So by discovering or directing your thoughts positively, you can unlock your potential for wealth and happiness. This shift will help create a mindset shift that goes from failure to success by changing your mental outlook. Number 2 is like creating this prosperous mindset. When you develop a mindset of abundance, that mind attracts positive experiences or opportunities. So this type of approach reduces any unnecessary effort and will align external actions with your internal beliefs. Oh, I forgot the little, you'll have to forgive that. I forgot these little things here. But I do have a quote to read that is very important, where she says, I have observed that talking with hundreds of people who have gone from failure to success, that is what we really think deep within ourselves most of the time, rather than that big front that we may put up to others that unconsciously attracts like results to us. There is an age-old maxim that says, we are where we are because we are what we are, and we are what we are because of our habitual thinking. Many people work hard to attract greater good in superficial ways without first habitually radiating its mental equivalent. And then they are sorely disappointed when their great efforts result in failure and disappointment. So basically in that whole thing saying that if you have now failure in your life, you have to take some responsibility for all of the things that you have attracted up until this point, and not just going out and saying, okay, I'm going to go and change my actions without changing your thoughts first. So that leads us into the ways to apply. So cultivate your positive thoughts. We talk a lot about this on this channel. Consistently thinking and feeling prosperous thoughts will create a mental environment that attracts success. And even a lot of books mention this. I will be doing more mind maps. So let me know down below what other books you have or read that have been helpful to you, or ones that you have been wanting to read but haven't gotten to yet. So also using affirmations, which is a big thing on this channel. I have a playlist full of affirmations that you can use to help reinforce positive thinking and expectations, as well as, reprogramming your subconscious mind. And I want to read this quote here that says, since you have, well, this is from the book, since you have the tangible and intangible equivalent of whatever you dare to choose, mentally entertain and radiate. Stop thinking of things as apart from or outside of yourself. Stop thinking that people, things, circumstances, and conditions have power to hurt or harm you. Start realizing that nothing can stand between you and the good that you dare to choose mentally and radiate outwardly through your thoughts, feelings, words, and expectancies. Choose and radiate mentally. Choose and radiate emotionally. Choose and radiate constantly and persistently. So don't just have the thought and say, okay, well, I tried, it didn't work. That's not the way that you do this. It has to be a consistent effort until you see the results outwardly. Because remembering, like she said, there's no separations between you and your good. So the quicker you can believe, and not even believe, the quicker that you can have these thoughts regularly and know that this is the way that it is for you now, that is what is, you're able to reinforce those thoughts but for yourself, and then that just naturally infuses with with whatever actions you decide to take. So that, plus I have multiple ways. Deliberate mental preparation. That is one of the same things. It's going along with this whole box, like using your mind before you use your behind to get the things that you need out of this life. So prepare mentally for success by visualizing and emotionally accepting your desired outcome. So sometimes we'll want something, but if you are saying, well, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't, maybe I will, that is what causes the disturbance within your thoughts and your efforts. So realize that your mental effort can achieve way more than your physical effort, and make your actions more effective that way. Next, you can take inspired action after you have already gotten your mental in order, understanding that while the mental preparation is crucial, your follow through with external actions that align with your prosperous action or your prosperous thoughts are just as important. So I do want to read this from the book as well, where she says, I do not mean to imply through all these people's experiences, because she did detail where other people had success, and you can read the book just to reaffirm that and to get more information. But I do not mean to imply through all these people's experiences that you simply entertain and radiate the mental equivalent of the desired good and then do nothing more. Often you have to take definite external steps as well. But you will discover that by working out the mental concept of the desired good first, the outer steps will then unfold easily, almost automatically at times, without strained effort on your part. The more you turn your mind in rich directions, the less you seem to have to exert undue human effort to produce any results. Work you will, but it will be work as satisfying self-expression rather than work just to survive. Your rich mind power and radiations seem to have a way of going forth and producing the right opportunities, events, and circumstances for prosperity and success, so that you almost unconsciously walk into them. So that is a whole paragraph just telling you the definite, how definite this actually is once you get your mind in line. Taking that action is a cakewalk. So, releasing your inner potential, tapping into your inner reserves of energy, creativity, and power through your concentrated thought. She says, she calls it in the book pent up substance. So, we are filled with the pent up substance, energy, and divine ability which wishes to work for us, through us, and around about us. And she also says psychologists declare that the average person only uses about 10% of the mind power. I guess that's like indicating that 10% the conscious and then the 90% being subconscious. So that is what she's like referring to there. She also says that psychologists further state that you can release more result getting power in 1 hour of concentrated use of your mind rather than 24 hours of physical work. So just showing that like disparity, that's also like the 10% to 90% as well. So just using 1 hour of your mind concentrated is like better than just moving around your body for the whole damn day. So last but not least, understanding that you are magnetic. Each of us is a magnet. And as a magnet, you do not have to force success and prosperity to yourself. Instead, you can develop that expectant and prosperous state of mind that is a magnet for all good things of the universe to come to you. So rather than entertaining any of the anxious minds like states, that is a magnet for all kinds of trouble and failure. So being careful about what you choose to entertain and the thoughts that you choose to play over again and again. I know I have to be careful of that as well, because I am very big on rumination in my mind, and sometimes it just like replays like a song that you can't get out of your head. So I have to be very careful of that. Let me know if you've experienced that as well, the rumination, just going over and over thoughts in your mind that sometimes may be helpful, sometimes they may not. So at this point though, don't be too concerned about the theory of like radiation or attraction. Just begin accepting it, that this is the way it is. This is the way that it really always has been. And when you begin to accept this and using it as your prosperity secret, all of these laws that's stated throughout the book, but are various ways of invoking this law, you will find them delightful and actually very rewarding and quickly, very quickly rewarding you during this process. So yes, that is chapter 2 of the dynamic laws of prosperity. I am already working on chapter 3 as well. That one may be out this Sunday. I'm working on that to come out this Sunday. So stay tuned for these videos. This book has a lot of gems, and I have recommended this book to many people over the years. Sometimes I know I have more time sometimes than other people may have. So I'm glad to be able to break this book down into exactly what matters, because like I said, in the book, there are many many experiences of other people and her life experiences infused, and I'll throw that in where it counts. But yes, I like to get to the meat and potatoes of the book, and this is surely it. So let me know what you thought down below. Please leave a comment, a like. You can subscribe as well, and thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and donate. You can do so all down below. And you can also go to our website, soulguidecandles.com. Peace.